We grow up living in a society that is encouraging the ego self to be dominant. We live in a society that is teaching us to measure our self-worth by our achievements and our possessions. The ego self wants to be fed with the money and the status, and as a society we are rewarding well those who are driven to play in this game of the continual cycle of buying and spending. We have birthed a humanity which believes that material possessions buy happiness. The ego self makes choices which are rooted in fear and insecurity. It seeks careers that offer the so-called success, but in time there nearly always comes a realization that there is little inner fulfillment. The true self, on the other hand, makes choices rooted in love for oneself. It knows and understands what one really wants, and what one really needs is to be joyful, which creates a far stronger, solid and expansive foundation for our lives than any the ego self could provide us. Encouraging the qualities of the true self to be more present and active in our lives will bring about change on a personal as well as a collective level. The consequences being better choices overall will be made that will support a new humanity to evolve. We all need to emphasize and encourage what really matters, and this is nourishing and growing the true deeper self and letting go of the false everyday self that we are to ourselves and to others, and which honestly only has a long-term damaging effect. And by exercising and experiencing the qualities of the true self, you quickly learn to cultivate them and eventually make them a natural part of yourself, which brings your true self to life. Distinguishing between what is your true self and what is not does take time and some effort. And I want to really be clear here, this isn't about removing the ego self completely, because as like the world of duality in which we live in, so is that reflected in the human being. So what's important is getting balance, being able to tap into all of who you are, and not only allowing one part of you to dominate all of you. And of course there are going to be times when you feel secure, accepted and peaceful and certain. And then there are going to be other moments when you are experiencing the opposite. You're feeling overwhelmed by the stress and the crisis and the doubts and the insecurity. And it's okay to feel this. But what's equally important to recognize in those darker, tough moments is that you always have a brighter part of you, excuse me, that is always there to help you get some outside perspective about what is truly happening in your present now moment. So why not check out my next video where I explain the differences between the true self and the everyday self, the ego. And I list the qualities that are found in each of them.